Greetings once again to the wonderful Doctor of Ministry students here at Regent University School of Divinity. This is your instructor, Dr. Larry Asplund, coming to you at the end of week 5. As you know, week 5 was the kind of the conclusion to module 2, very important piece of our schedule, ultimately a very important piece of your proposal, your ministry project proposal. And so now we're kind of transitioning, we're switching gears a little bit from module 2 to module 3 and in week 6. So I wanted to be able to stop by and kind of move us along, move us toward the target. I definitely am enjoying providing feedback for your summary of the literature section of your proposal, and so I want to be sure to keep up with you in the process. So we're transitioning from, what we would kind of call the lit summary to the BTH foundations, to keep it all kind of short in our minds. And so, as you well know, our process, module 2, we began in week 3 by organizing research notes, and that involved first of all separating out the difference between notes that were from the scholarly literature, relevant scholarly literature, whether it be disciplinary or cross-disciplinary, from those notes that pertain to the Bible, to Christian theology, and to church history. So we started there, and then just to begin to focus on those notes that you have set aside for research that you did in the scholarly literature. And so, it kind of was a note organizing kind of a thing in week 3. Honestly, we don't expect you to have an exhaustive, extensive, final version of all of this research at this point in time, because it's a bit of a work in progress. We just want to have enough to be able to do a reasonable proposal to send on to Dr. Flynn, to give him enough information to convince that, first of all, you've got a plan, you've got a good plan, and then to be able to appoint a chair for you. So week 4, you worked on an outline. You were just providing some kind of a logical construction or organization for your literature notes, and posted an outline, did a great job. And of course, week 5 then concludes that process of actually composing the section of your proposal, the summary of the literature section, based upon the work that you've already done. Quite a few of you have done that. Remember, my process will be, when I see that you've posted something, that I will basically, I will acknowledge it. I will post a grade for you, and I will provide a note that will say, by the way, I'm going to give you very specific feedback by way of an email message. Because my goal is, by the end of our process, you will be done. You will be happy with the work that you did. All you will need to do is copy and paste it into the template, and you will be ready to go. Now, we're going to follow a very similar process in module 3, where we're focused on that next major section, which is the biblical, theological, and historical foundation. So week 6, here we go. You are going to be completing and organizing notes. I say completing because I find in most semesters students feel like they need to add a little bit more to their notes in this area. Probably have enough, if not more than enough, biblical material. Maybe squeeze out something new, something important in the area of theology. Sometimes the historical piece you might feel is missing something. And if I feel it's missing something, I'll point it out. Ultimately, you should have something from church history, but something from more recent history as well. So that's why I call it completing and organizing notes under this area. And then week 7, we'll do the same thing. We'll have an outline. You can, once again, either do a traditional outline or use the review map to kind of indicate the structure of this section. For me, I think the best structure simply is, and I'll say more about this as we go forward, but the best structure is simply have 3 headings. One called Biblical Foundation, the second one called Theological Foundation, and the third one called Historical Foundation. And then you can subdivide those sections a little bit further to make it clear what it is that you are reporting in terms of your research. So we'll do the outline in week 7. You have an entire week to do that. And then finally, based on your good work, we will do week 8, which will be composing that section, the Biblical, Theological, and Historical Foundation section of your proposal. And as you well know, once you do the literature summary and the BTH foundations, you will have probably 2/3 of your proposal. And so we're taking our time to just kind of work together carefully in this area. And I'm absolutely committed to, but also convinced of your success. So week 6 resources, here we are at the beginning of week 6. You have once again some links to PMIN897 review content, which is relevant. Of course, there is the excellent BTH description and rubric document. You know, I mentioned last time that one of the things I love about the rubric document that's provided is the extensive description. There's probably more information about the assignment there in that document than either in the course syllabus or in Blackboard. So that's an excellent resource for you. And then we'll have Collaborate 3. Now we're going to do Collaborate 3 as a Zoom meeting, and so I will be sure to send you all, you know, invitations. You know how it works, and you'll have a link as to where to go for that meeting. But that will also, I hope, be a helpful resource for you as you begin to work on this section of your proposal. So in terms of the work that I anticipate in week 6, if you're still completing your lit summary, you know, I agree with what I have oftentimes said in past classes. Don't wait until you feel it's perfect. Give me what you have, because then I will partner together with you in providing very specific feedback that will hopefully result in a final version of the lit summary. So complete the work that you're doing on your lit summary, and then begin to organize your research notes. Again, I propose just a very simple organization with headings for Bible Foundation, Biblical Foundation. It is going to be the name of it, Theological Foundation, Historical Foundation. But of course, it's the material that you have relevant to Scripture, relevant to Christian theology, relevant to church history, and just begin to organize your notes. And then no doubt you will discover under each of those headings some additional organization that you can indicate ultimately in your document as well. So that's kind of the week 6 work. Also, we will have Collaborate 3. So Monday evening, September the 26th, 8:00 p.m. Eastern time, we will get together, all of us who can. I will review the progress so far, and we can have a discussion as to how's it going. Are you running into difficulties? Is there still an area that you're not clear about? You know, I'm committed to you. I'm committed to your success. So we will take time to do that together. And then I want to be able to take some time to discuss the role of the BTH Foundation section. Very, very important to see its significance for a D.Min dissertation. If you were doing a PhD dissertation, you would not have this section or this chapter. You know, it's going to ultimately be chapter 3 of your dissertation. So seeing how it functions in the D.Min process, I think, is very, very important. And then we will just kind of dive into the BTH Foundation's research and writing process, make sure there's plenty of time for Q&A, you know, and just be able to encourage one another along the way when we gather Monday night for our Collaborate opportunity. We're not using, of course, the Blackboard Collaborate Ultra tool. It's still collaboration, but I will send you invitations to my Zoom meeting room, etc., etc. So, when we talk about BTH foundations, we're talking about what for us as doctoral students, as Doctor of Ministry students, we're talking about the foundation. This is the firm foundation. We're looking for relevant background kind of information, establishing the research-based background for the work that you're doing in the summary of the literature, ultimately chapter 2. But for us as Doctor of Ministry students, the firm foundation of what you're doing is found in this section. And so being able to take the time to establish that, I know you're going to enjoy it. I know you will see how important it is as you go forward. And of course, we'll work together to make sure that it's just really, really, it does what it is that you want it to do and need it to do. So God bless you, everybody. I'm going to see you Monday night. Looking forward to that time together.